Hello everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Bankrupt's Minecraft Let's Play series. That's me, Bankrupt. And welcome to the village. I'm standing up atop of this pyramid so that you guys can take one last look at the village. Not because it's getting destroyed, but it is going to be changed for the better in this episode. But first, we have a couple things to take care of. Come on, man. Settle down. Oh, also, before the recording of this episode, I did actually manage to find some slime balls and fix the sticky piston in the silo room, and I was also able to enchant mending onto 2 of my pickaxes, which are with me pretty much all the time. So that's pretty cool. So I think the best thing, other than the experience that we got out of last episode, was this overabundance of rotten flesh. And we can actually trade it in here to get tons of emeralds. So obviously the main purpose of a village like this is to trade and stimulate some form of Minecraft economy. And for the most part, that's super helpful, but look at these cute little guys. I think at the very least they deserve a nice home, not this fandangled mess. So with that in mind, I've devised a plan to make changes through implementing 4 defined processes. Firstly, expansion. I want to make this place slightly bigger than it currently is by extending the city borders in these 2 corners. Then, fill the new areas with buildings and tents, a river, and a desert oasis. I also plan to make a themed farming area and a marketplace. Second, colour. The palette is a little plain for my liking. We need to spice these buildings up with something special. I think these colours will work with the existing theme. Third, detail. Let's pave the streets, add boulders, some greenery, you name it. Anything that adds intricate detail to this village is the aim of the game here. Fourth, identity. Let's start this future empire off strong, with a name and a cool entrance. Now that's some work cut out for us. Let's get started. I put down a stone cutter to help me out in the future with the sandstone stuff, but this guy just made it his job. So he's going to get in the way a little bit, but that's alright. At least he's working. And we've got a baby villager just having a snooze as well. I think putting down this bed triggered an extra slot in the village. So yeah, we have to deal with these guys popping up every now and then. So for those of you who watched episode 2, the saga of the villager stuck in a cauldron continues. And I think with the village overhaul we're going to do today, we're going to make it a goal to free this guy and give him a new lease on life. Maybe a good job, well-paying job, something like that. I think he deserves it, he's suffering so much. So I thought the first thing we would do is start on the river. Now I thought we'd come down here and possibly bring it through this low ground section and maybe bring it up, wind it through this area, and then down into the back corner. So I'm planning to put the desert oasis down there. So a nice pool of water in front of it I think will look quite good. I'm just going to start digging and hope for the best. I don't know if it's just because I finished building this river, but these guys just want to swim, man. There's so many just in the lake, and that honestly kind of worries me because in the future when it's all done and they need to do their jobs and stuff, hopefully they don't get stuck in there. They don't seem to really know how to swim, but they're not drowning even though the water's deep enough for them to. And then especially in these sections where the water flows down, they get stuck down there and they don't know what to do. I think their pathing just makes them want to go directly that way towards the beds, but they don't seem to realize they can get up over here. So that means I guess I'm going to have to fence this river off, which is not really what I want to do, but we might have to, because this is really annoying, actually. This is starting to get out of hand really quickly. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know, the fence doesn't look that good. and it's just a quick solution. It was just for me to see if I liked it, and I don't. So now I don't know if I should just remove the river entirely and just leave the pool here, because I can more easily manage that than a river running through. I don't know, this is just not gonna work. Unless I can find some other solution, but I have no idea. Alright guys, if we can't have a river running through here, I think the next best thing we can make is an irrigation system over here in the farming district. And we're going to be basing it off an ancient Egyptian method of irrigation, which is to build canals up from a river. And in their case it was the River Nile. Just imagine we have a river running through the outside here. And it was basically just to build canals up to the side of farmland, so that when the river would rise in certain parts of the year, the canal would fill up and you would have easier access to the water. And what really makes this method more ancient per se is the use of shadoofs, which are basically these crane-like mechanisms which help lift the water for distribution. So in addition to making the canals, we are also going to attempt to make one of those too. Alright, I got the villagers out of the water. Hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, we've done the canal. I've extended it along this way over to a lake. That's my temporary solution as opposed to building a huge river out the back. And the next step I think is farmland. I'm going to do this squared section in the back corner here in farmland. Probably just carrots, maybe wheat, and a couple of shadoofs, maybe one here and one here. And I also want to build a stable to house some llamas, so we'll think about where to put that and we'll go for that. But yeah, that's a quick update. Now to build the buildings. And just as I was starting to take huge strides in building, making progress at a rate which would finish this project quicker than ever, I came across this mess. Villagers in the water. I don't know how it happened, and look, I'm a builder, not a lifesaver. So fishing these guys out of the water is the last thing I wanted to do. And to be honest, I snapped. I am so sorry. Ah! What the? They can hit me? What? Oh my gosh, what? What? They still go after me? Dude, I already died. Please, just leave me alone. I don't know what I expected to happen there. Over the course of an hour, these iron golems hunted and tried to force me out of the village I created for them. And maybe their motive was justified, but I could not continue under these conditions. But then, as I was paying for my own betrayal, I dragged someone into this mess that didn't deserve what was coming for them. I gotta kill this. No! Oh no, what have I done? Alright, I've been on edge for the past couple of hours while playing this, and the iron golems are still after me. Like, it's just getting out of hand. I just have to reset, make sure that I'm going to be safe while building, because otherwise I can make no progress. But you'll notice that I finished this little hut thing. I was going to use it as like a little waygate towards the markets because I've decided that the market district will look nice in this corner, which means that I'm probably going to move this building, which is sort of the initial market stall that I made. I'm going to basically recreate that over here and then just do normal buildings in this area. So we'll get started on that, but yeah, hopefully I can build safely because these guys are just really giving me a hard time. The progress we've made here has been amazing, and it honestly has taken me a long time to get this far, and it probably doesn't look like it based on the time lapses, but this has been a mega project actually. I honestly didn't think that the project would take this long, but I'm so happy it's finally coming together. There are a couple more things we need to do, however. The first major thing we need to do is add in a custom tree down there. So that's the desert oasis. It doesn't look like much of an oasis right now, so I really need to figure out how to make that look pretty. And the second major thing we need to do is create a nice entrance over here, some kind of gate or something, and give it a name. Other small things include helping our friend in the well there, bringing some animals to the barn, and just adding in any extra detail that we can. Alright. It's time. You're free. Get me that cauldron. You're free. Come out. Oh my goodness. Both of you. Out you get. Hey, you made it. Oh, God. Get out of there. I hate these guys sometimes. Seriously. I'm trying to fix this. Alright, now that should be villager proof. And then the last things to do was to finish off the desert oasis, make a grand entrance, and without further ado, I present to you guys the completed Sand Gem Town. It has been such a long time coming, but I'd like to officially welcome you all to the grand opening of Sand Gem Town. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a highlight tour. I'm not going to go over everything in the town, but just my highlights, just the things that I like the most. and we're going to start here out the front with the grand entrance. This particular pillar was inspired by some ancient temple entrances that I saw, and we've got this little bar here to kind of stop mobs going in and out without using the piston door. And I like to use buttons instead of pressure plates just so that they can't do it by themselves. Mobs and villagers can't press buttons, so we need this place to be completely villager and mob proof, because as we've seen earlier, these guys can get up to a bit of mischief that I'm not a fan of. As for the entrance itself, I've incorporated the coloured terracotta blocks just for feature, and these nice pillars which were also inspired by those temple entrances with the nice gold blocks on top. And we did name the town Sandgem Town, or just Sandgem, I don't know. I took the name from Pokemon, but I thought it was very fitting because of the sand theme and the fact that villagers give emeralds, hence the sand gem. I think it's quite a fitting name and quite a fitting entrance for this lovely town. I'm going to quickly show you the updated town center because I did add the color in the form of the terracotta, and I did make some of these buildings bigger as well. I'm a big fan of big buildings in towns like this. It makes them look very populous. It just makes them, I guess, have a bit more character as well. And speaking of character, I'm a big fan of the roofs of all the buildings in this area. They're all these flat castle-shaped roofs. And it's really cool, actually. In a desert, we don't need to worry about drainage from rain because it's not going to rain. So that's why we can have these nice flat roofs, but I guess none of that matters in a video game anyway. And of course I'll show off the markets too. I think it's the time of day where the villagers are not hanging around their workstations. So usually they're kind of standing in the middle there, which is really cool when you get to come over here and trade with them at their actual market stalls. And we can go down here. It's just a basic market area. We've got potion areas, we've got cartographer tables, we've just got all the job blocks kind of in this section, and these nice little market stalls as well. And if Mr. Iron Golem gets out of the way here, I can show you guys possibly my favorite building in this entire village. It is basically my attempt at creating a parliament building or some kind of town hall type of thing. It's definitely the biggest building in this town, except for the pyramid of course, but inside there's a library, there's a couple beds, but yeah, this is my favorite building. So now we're here at the campsite and desert oasis of the village. The desert oasis is a little bit dull, basically because we're in a desert, we don't have these nice vibrant colors, but I like how we have it, I guess. It can also be improved. I think that the jungle leaves and jungle wood would make that palm tree look a lot better. And once we have a jungle, we will swap those out. And the campsite up here is just a nice little area for wandering traders or anyone that comes from far lands just to stay a night while they, have a rest stop in the village here. I thought it was a nice little touch to add a campsite, and it fits nicely next to the oasis as well. And I thought I'd save, in my opinion, the best for last. The farming district is definitely the highlight for me of the entire village. We've got this nice little barn here for which we have the shepherds and some sheep attached to the side there. And a couple llamas. I want to also get a donkey in here. Rest in peace to my donkey. But once we get another one, we'll chuck it in here too. But that's cool. I love how the llamas have the carpets on them. Really suits the theme in my opinion. And over here we have our canal, which is just filled to the brim with iron golems. I will try to fix that another time. But let's ignore that for now and just focus on the farm itself. We've got these crops which our villagers have kindly changed all our carrots for beetroots, so good on them for that. And we have these nice, I'm really happy with how this is flush. Like, I didn't know you could put trapdoors in the water, but that's so cool. And the highlight of the farming district, in my opinion, is our shadoof. It's such a simple thing, yet I think it adds so much character and really just makes the village seem more inspired on history, which is what I was going for. And that brings us to the end of the tour, and I just want to say building this village in the desert biome was such a good decision. I am very happy with the vibe this produces. And I know every biome has its themes, but I am very happy with the desert. It just reminds me of this bazaar from like ancient Egypt or the Middle East where people have come from far and wide to trade whatever they have for other valuables. And the fact that we use emeralds to trade really drives that feeling for me. I also really love that we can collect villagers with unique clothing from their origin biomes, and it really does make it feel like a civilization built from migrants of other towns around this world. We currently have 3 clothing types from the desert, acacia, and plains biomes. There's still jungle, swamp, taiga, and snow themed villagers to get, but I'm not going to go out of my way at the moment to look for them. The beauty of a project like this is that we can infinitely expand this thing. Unlike other buildings that I've made before, it's super easy to just extend the city border and build more houses and grow this place. I can definitely see myself coming back in a month, in a year, and doing that, and that's what I'm really excited for. And I hope you guys are excited for it too. I've had a blast fixing up this place and I'm pretty proud of it. But as always, I know there's room to improve and I would love to know if you have any suggestions. Just drop them in the comments below. But thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.